Welcome to Hotline 21. I'm your host, Bruce Jackson. And today we got a great guest for you. I mean, several great guests. And we're going to be talking about something very unique. And before I even get into it, let me just speak to something that's very important. Many of you have asked about testing, and we have the testing for you. I'm going to put this right up over the overhead. If you want to get tested for HIV or any of the STDs, just come right over to 1309 South Kedzie. And many of you like to leave an email. You can give us an email at thegifthouse@sbcglobal.net, or check us out on the web, www.thegifthouse.org. Again, there's no appointment available. Just give us a call. You can come right over at 1309 South Kedzie Avenue and get tested for any of the STDs. We also do hypertension and diabetes testing. And we're back with our wonderful guest. And I just want you to just tell us your name and tell us about this beautiful, wonderful play you're in called Gravy Train North.
Yes, Gravy Train North. My name is Sarah Evans, and I played the character of Mama Flo in the play.
Great. And we have a lovely lady here, and please tell us your name and tell us.
My name is Claire
Your part.
Cardy, and I actually cover two parts. I am a teacher in the northern school, and then I also play a clerk down in Mobile, Alabama.
Now I want to ask you about a super great person, Beatrice Watts. Tell us how you guys got to know her and how you got involved in this in her production.
Well, I can say that I was granted the opportunity to meet the wonderful Miss B. Watson by a mutual friend. Her name is Janet Moore. Janet Moore and I have been doing some things along our friendship. We used to sing together, do a little bit of theatrical work, but she introduced me to this Gravy Train North, the Great Migration play, to play the part of Mama Flo. I don't want to go into a little bit about what she could not do, but I want to say I want to thank her for the opportunity of letting me stand in her place to play the role of Mama Flo. This play right here is set in the 1940s, starting out in Mobile, Alabama, migrating to the north, which was Detroit, Michigan, I believe.
Yes.
It's very well written. The parts are very well acted out. It's very well scripted and written very, very nicely. And once again, it's something that I think that everybody who has transitioned from the South coming to the North, or even their family history, everybody should be able to get something from out of this play here.
Now, I'm going to pause you for 1 second. I want to hear from this lovely lady over here.
Hi, I'm in the same apartment complex as B. Watson, so I've known her for a number of years. We have been doing plays together under the name of Lift Every Voice, using seniors. We've broadened out into multi-generational casts, and we have just done so many wonderful plays. And she is so involved in the community and representing her community, and I feel as her token white, let's say it that way. I really enjoyed the parts that I've had. They've been very broadening. She runs a wonderful workshop for acting. She takes beginners and makes them feel confident getting up there on the stage.
That's great, and I understand that we have even more of the cast here.
Yes, we do.
And I just want to thank you for coming out and being a part of Gravy Train.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It's
Thank you
great.
so very kindly.
It was a pleasure talking
Thank
with
you.
you. And it was an equal pleasure speaking with you and learning so much about how you all met. Beatrice, extraordinaire,
Yes.
And what I've seen you in another play, and you were just phenomenal. So I mean, you guys are just something. So I want to thank the both of you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring on some other guests, and we're going to continue our discussion about Gravy Train North. And we're having a discussion about Gravy Train North, the Great Migration that took place, and it's being done by Beatrice Watson. And we're going to continue our discussion with some of the cast of Gravy Train North. And we are back. And we're back, and we have two great, extraordinary guests. And I want you to just introduce yourself and tell us what character you play in this play.
Okay, I'm Joy Payne, and I play a woman called Mabel.
And tell us a little bit about Mabel.
Well, Mabel, she is a wise woman. She's married with a good husband. I mean, he's a faithful man, and I got 2 kids, so I get to work with children. So I'm enjoying that.
Very nice, very nice. And so you are a mother in the play, and you're also a wife.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great, great, great. And this gentleman right here, what is your name?
Hi, Eugene Moon.
Eugene Moon.
Yes.
And you are also in the play?
Yes, I am.
And can you please tell the audience what character you play?
Oh, I play Carl. He's an auto factory worker. And he's up from the South. He brings his family up. He's looking for a better life. And he finds it in an auto plant. And in fact, her husband, who is Sam, he's one of his friends. And that's how they become, Carl's as part of this play as being Sam's friend. And the experiences they had working at an auto plant back in the day, and the experience they had being black men and having some of the worst of jobs in the plant and trying to find better jobs in auto plant. So it's a well-written play. You know, it really talks about how I was back then for a black man, how hard he had to do, the things he had to do to make it, try to find a better way, you know, to get some of the harder jobs in the factory where Sam is trying to get something better. Carl himself wants something better too. And so he's just trying a man who's going to take care of his family.
Great. Now I'm going to pause you for 1 second, and I want to, since you're married and you've got 2 kids, and you got this great, wonderful husband in this play. How do you prepare yourself mentally to carry that out? Tell us a little bit about that. Don't give all the secrets, but just give us a little bit of the secret.
Well, I do work at a daycare, so I'm used to being around kids. So it's like, man, I can relate. Like, I know what kids can put you, they can put you through a lot. So it helped draw out, like, man, I know what my child go through when the ones at the daycare get into a fight. And you're like, stop fighting. You know, so they're like, how do I get along with all these other kids? You have to explain it to them. So I know that part. I'm related to that part. Now the husband part, that's something new. Yeah. I'm used to being an independent woman, so.
So you got to share that independence.
Yeah, I got to share.
Okay. Well, sharing is good.
Yeah.
Now, you are playing a part of a auto mechanic.
No, actually, he's just one of the assembly workers at the auto plant.
Gotcha.
And they're trying to find better jobs within the auto plant. And they're offering them, they get one where they're offered a job was pretty dangerous, but it pays more money. And so you'll see in the scene where they're discussing who wants this job. You know, it pays more money, but you may get killed doing this job. So, you know, things like that. Back in the 40s when you really didn't have things like OSHA, you know, to regulate factories like that, you know. So it's pretty interesting.
Okay. Now, how do you prepare yourself for a play like that?
Well, you know something, by being raised, you know, with my dad, you know, coming from those days and his brothers and my uncles, and all I have to do, you know, to look in their lives and how the things that they had to do. And I try to instill that And to me, and when I do this, because my father worked at a foundry, my uncles worked at a foundry, so they had hard jobs like that. And so the things that they talked about when they came home at the dinner table, I remember some of these things. So I try to, put a bit of that into that.
Gotcha. Now I'm going to pause you for 1 second, and we're gonna look at the great Beatrice Watson, and I want you to tell me what inspired you. How does she motivate you? Tell me more about the great Beatrice Watson.
Well, I happened to meet Beatrice when I joined the Hyde Park Writers group, and I joined a writing contest, and I went to my first meeting, and Beatrice was there. She was talking about, I'm going to have a play. I said, oh, okay, I want to audition. So that's where I originally met Beatrice. So I was like, she's also in the writers group. I'm saying she's someone who's inspired me to write, because I do poetry and I do want to write plays. So she's very inspirational. I like her work. Like, I'm like, this is awesome. I like the play. I'm really enjoying myself, and the cast. The cast is really great too.
Now tell us how you was inspired and motivated by Beatrice.
Well, I met B at my writer's class. And she was doing the play, Who Wrote the Book of Love. And she had a small part, and she offered it to me. And I decided to take the part, and did I have a blast. Well-written play, wonderful cast, met a lot of good people, got the bug, and decided to do it again. She's really a wonderful woman. She prepares you, because that's one thing. B really prepares you. She may be strict, but she's fair, and that's why you're going to get a good product from B. You're going to get a real good product because she's really into that profession to make it work, and that's the kind of woman she is. So expect a very good play.
All right, well said. Well said. I want to thank the both of you for coming out to the show, and especially for telling us about your characters and about a phenomenal producer, and I look forward to Gravy Train North, and we'll be right back with something really special. So don't go away.
Can I run out here?
And we're talking about Gravy Train North, and we're looking at this great migration to the north, and we're going to continue our discussion with some very special guests, and we are back, and we're back with Beatrice. I always call her B, so you guys gotta excuse me. I always call her B, and another and her actress and
Sidekick,
co-producer, and B's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
now, B, you wrote this play. It's a phenomenal play. What inspired you to do this?
Well, first of all, my parents was my motivation, and my father. He's such a comedian. Well, he was. He's passed away now, but I got a lot of my inspiration in some of the lyrics and wordings that he would use. And Sam, my lead character, male character, does a lot of his words, and he's very funny. My father was funny without trying to be funny. He was just he was a comedian. And I felt the story is around Black History Month, and we do our plays around February near Black History Month. I wanted to put on something that could sort of teach our young people a lot about what was happening when things were just given to them. And you had to really work hard to get what you wanted. And so Gravy Train North is what they were going toward. They were going toward the great American promise that they felt they could have a better life, and they would, even though it was a struggle, they did not have the racism, even though racism is just as bad in the North, but it's not as blatant as it is in the South. And they had opportunities that they didn't have in the South. The character of Mabel, which I have two young ladies that play that part, is a young lady that didn't really want to leave the South. She knew that it was hard, but she had family still there. But her husband needed to leave because he could see the danger for himself as a prideful man, and he could see that his mother was getting older, and he really didn't want to bring her out, but he couldn't leave her. She plays Mama Flo, and she's a churchgoer, and she gives a lot of inspiration to her family. She brings a lot of wisdom with her, and so when they finally settled in the North, they tried to raise their children and to give an example. But their son, as he grows older, he blames his father for having to have left the South because he felt that he left his friends, he left people at a place that he was familiar with, and he felt that his father was a coward. He didn't stand up against the evil that he saw. So the son learns later in his life why his father had to leave. Yeah.
Now, what I want you to do is, can you? We're going to put the overhead back up, and can the both of you? We're going to try to zoom in, and so if somebody want to come and check out this play, where might they come to see it? And just put it right up here and explain where that's at. And
Well, we have two places. The Atlas Center has been very generous in letting us come in. This is going to be our third presentation there. We're doing a creative reading there. We're not doing the actual play. We're just doing a creative reading there. And it's right on 79th Street East on 79th, 1700 East 79th. And it's a senior place as well as a social area where seniors meet and greet, and people come for social services and things on that order. And that will be on February 7th. It's a Friday, and it's an early show. It's from 12 noon until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, of course, we go to Hyde Park Academy, which is a high school right there off of 63rd and Stony Island. And that's going to be really Valentine's Day, so the 14th. So if you really, really want a nice gift for your loved ones, bring them on out on Saturday, which is the 14th of February, 7 until 9:30, and Saturday, February the 15th, from 3 to 5:30. And they can also call for tickets. They're very reasonable.
And I want to thank you, and if you want to add something, because they just let me know I'm down to 1 minute. I can stay with you guys forever.
Well, this young lady here is she's my assistant. She does everything. She does all that. She, in fact, is responsible for the beautiful flyer you see here, and she's there. She's there to help me out and make things a lot easier for me.
And I field about 10 calls from B every time we have to do something because she has a very particular look that she wants. And so we go back and forth and we negotiate and it comes together. So it is quite a challenge to work with B, but it's also very, very
But she's very
wonderful.
patient, though. She's extremely patient. She doesn't scream. She's always level-headed. I could really get on her nerve, but she never screams. She's really very patient.
And
I'm blessed to have her.
You know what, B? It was a pleasure to have you on the show and for you to talk about Gravy Train Noise. I think it's phenomenal.
And you didn't mention the fact that you're in the show, did you?
Yes, ma'am.
You're playing the pastor.
I'm not supposed to tell everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful. Your performance is so great. If you've seen pastors like Jesse Jackson and all the rest, he puts them to shame. You really got to come out and see this young man.
B, we love you. We love you, B. We love you.
Okay.
And thank you for coming out. And yes, come to Gravy Train North if you're going to enjoy. And I will be there. Your host. I will be there, and I will be the Reverend. I will be the Reverend. I'll be talking about God. Now, here's what we're going to do. For those of you who want to get tested, remember, I'm going to put it right back up on the screen here. Let me just zoom out. Here we go. And you can go there, 1309 South Kedzie, get tested. All tests are free. And we want to thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, always be safe. Thank you. Thank you all again.